Guys, what's good? Coming at y'all with a quick video about a Breitling. Let's open the box real quick and just kind of see what it's about. Got some paperwork and stuff in there. Let me show you the strap. Maybe you can guess the watch based on that really cool yellow rubber Breitling strap. But you know, box is really easy. I love Breitling boxes. They kind of have a built-in travel box, and so just kind of empty there. And the watch is right here. I've wanted this watch for a long time. You know, check out my review of the Breitling Colt Sky Racer. That was kind of like the spiritual predecessor of this watch, and this is called the Breitling Endurance Pro. Okay, what makes this watch special? It's made out of a interesting proprietary composite material. This black material. It is ultralight. I'm going to take it off this NATO strap. 22 millimeter lug width here. Hang on. It's a pretty tight fit. So I'm going to just maybe pull it off right here so I can get back into it easily. But you can see that composite material. You know, you can feel it. It feels interesting. It feels almost like titanium, but it's ultralight, far lighter than titanium. And the Colt Sky Racer was the first watch Breitling made about a decade ago that was made out of this material. It was discontinued, and one of the big weaknesses of that watch was the way the lugs were arranged. It had an integrated lug right there that was broken in the middle, and it's some proprietary straps. This version has a more typical 22 millimeter lug width with a normal spring bar, so it's a lot easier to switch out straps and stuff. The Sky Racer was also a three-hander, whereas this one is a chronograph. And it comes in a lot of different colors. I really have wanted this watch for a while and finally got one at a price that kind of made sense. It goes for around, I don't know, like $3,500 maybe, new. And it's a very popular watch from Breitling because it does a lot of things really well. It's quartz, and let's activate the chronograph. So look at that, how cool is that? So it can count down, or it can measure time in just fractions of a second. And it's super light. You know, it does a lot of things really well. It's a good size, and of course it's like ultra light and very easy to wear. It's kind of marketed as a sports watch, and it's 100 meters water resistant, but just like super well made. 43 millimeters in diameter, maybe 44 millimeters in diameter, but just wears really well like all Breitlings do. And I have it on this NATO strap, and I really think this is a better way to wear the watch than the rubber straps. I mean, of course, the rubber straps are great. They're color coordinated with the watches, but believe me when I say, if you've got one of these and you're kind of like, it's okay, take off the rubber strap, put it on a NATO, and I think you'll really like it. You can see the anti-reflective coating there. It's got some yellow. The crown is not screw in, it's push pull. That's a little weakness of the watch, but it's got some yellow hits there. And also it has a bi-directional bezel here, no click, so just kind of friction fit, and it has some you know, north, south, east, west on it. It's just really kind of like well made. The dial is busy, but you know, like Breitling's, it's a busy dial, but it's really well made. Another little nice feature of it is that it's highly legible. It's got the same hour and minute hands as like the Breitling Aerospace Evo. And if you look at the finish on those hands, it's not a polished finish. It's like a satinized finish, and it makes for really good legibility, because that's really a weakness of some of these polished hand Breitlings. There's just, you know, sometimes if the light hits it just right or doesn't hit it just right, you really can't see the hand. So this really fixes that problem. And the 369 are also satinized. You can see it has an applied logo, the Breitling logo at 12. And, you know, the other markers are loomed. Super nice watch. So let's get this NATO strap back on it. And then give me 1 second and I will put it on wrist, and then we'll keep talking about it, okay? I'll be right back. Okay guys, I'm back, and let's take a look at this thing up close and personal. Today I've got the Panerai 683 42 millimeter Luminor sub. Please check out my video on this watch. Huge fan of the 42 millimeter sub line, specifically this one. Just a really cool watch. Anyway, all right, that's not what this is about. I'm going to put that to the side. Let's try on the Breitling Endurance Pro in yellow. As I said earlier, it comes in a lot of different colors. There's a really cool baby blue color, there's orange, there's red, there's white, there's navy blue. So just a lot of different kind of like cool colors. And I bet as time goes on, Breitling will continue to release like special edition colors of this watch. But let me assure you that this watch is just super light, like super comfortable to wear. This bright light material it looks so good, and it's very scratch resistant, and I'm sure it's very impact resistant, especially since it's a high accuracy quartz movement inside it. And so I think it answers a lot of the questions a lot of people ask for sport type watches. It's got pretty good water resistance at 100 meters. It's super lightweight, so you can wear this watch and time yourself, I don't know, say running or racing a bike or something like that. I think it's perfect for that. Honestly, I think this particular watch, if Breitling wants to ante up, they could easily sponsor a crew for like one of the America's Cup races. Watch companies love to sponsor that event, but it's a perfect watch. It's a chronograph, it's ultra light, and that makes a big difference in yacht racing. So I think it's a really good sport watch. It's got, of course, a quartz movement, but it's very analog, so if you don't want to wear like an Apple Watch or like a Garmin or something like that, this I feel like fits a niche in between like a automatic watch and a smart watch. It's kind of like in between those two things. And I think it just looks super good. I mean, I love it on this black NATO strap or any color NATO strap you want. And if you've got one of these, or if you've kind of been thinking about one of these, if you can get one for around, under 3,000, but if you can get one for around 2,500 or thereabouts, I think it's a lot of watch for the money. It's expensive. It is a high accuracy quartz movement, and it's a chronograph movement. So that helps the case for the movement, even though it is a quartz watch, but it is expensive. I mean, it's a Breitling. I mean, it's a Swiss-made sports watch made out of an interesting ultralight material. I just think it's super cool. I really like it a lot. There's a couple of other watches made out of this bright light material. I talked to y'all already about the Sky Racer. That's a discontinued model. It's a 3-hander. But there's a watch called the Hurricane, which comes in 2 different sizes. So it's got a 45 millimeter, kind of closer to this, and then it's got like this ridiculous like 50 or 55 millimeter size. It's also made out of this same material, but it's the automatic chronograph version, I guess, of this kind of watch. And that watch goes for a lot. That goes for around 5,000 or 4,500. So for about $2,000 or $2,500 less, you get the same case technology, but it's almost more functional in the sense that the movement is not going to rattle. It's super shock resistant. And it's just super easy, super fun to wear. I really like it. This is a really good throw on and just like get out of the house watch. I think it'd be a really good vacation watch in a tropical destination. You can jump in the pool with it. You can, get it sweaty, and I think it'll be totally fine. Some things that I think could be improved on the watch, not much. But number one, I do think a screw down crown makes a lot of sense for this watch. I mean, it makes a lot of sense, and I don't think it would dramatically affect the price of the watch. So if Breitling could just come up with a screw down crown instead of a push pull, I think that would make a big difference. Although even the Sky Racer made out of bright light also had a push pull crown, so that may be more of an issue in terms of threading the case material than it is about whether or not they want to do a screw down crown. So a screw down crown would be good. The other slight thing that I would nick this watch on a little bit is the alignment of the hands is close. It's not perfect though, especially the seconds hand. It doesn't line up just right at 12, and this is a very common I'm not say problem, but very common issue with this watch. And, you go to watch forums, you kind of read a lot of stuff about it. And like I said, that is a very common, probably I would say 75, 85% of the watches have a slight misalignment of the seconds hand. But, for a Breitling with, this kind of case technology, it's a current version watch at $2,500 or less. It is a lot of money, but man, I think it's a lot of watch. I also forgot to mention that it also has a date function on the watch. So that's helpful. But just some other slight suggestions to Breitling. The Sky Racer had a unidirectional clicking bezel. That would be nice. And it had a countdown bezel. I like the north, south, east, west on this. I guess if I'm like hiking or something and I need to set these directions. But man, for what I do, a countdown bezel sure makes a lot of sense. Then again, it is a chronograph. So do I really need a countdown bezel plus a chronograph? Debatable, maybe. I don't know if I mentioned that the date is also there at 4:30. Really good position, really easy to read. It's a really good go anywhere, do anything watch. I think it's super well made. I think Breitling really hit it out of the park with this one, and it's not that easy of a watch to find, honestly. And so I think there's big demand for these kind of watches. Look, it's a Swiss-made sports watch with cool technology. It's ultra light, and it looks really good on the wrist. I really enjoy wearing it, and it's something I'm going to have for a while. Guys, I hope you like this quick look at a watch I got in. This is the Breitling Endurance Pro in yellow. Comes in a lot of cool colors. I think it's something you should really check out. I think it competes well with watches from kind of like these low to mid-tier brands like TAG Heuer. I like this watch versus like the Carrera chronograph. Guys, as you know, I love TAG Heuer. I love that F1 series, but this competes really well with that F1 series too, especially the F1 chronographs. I would take this over just about any Tissot, over any Longines. I think it really hammers those watches, especially with these kind of sports watch style. I think it gives you a lot more bang for the buck there. But then it starts getting complicated. Would I take this over like a Zinn or some of those German sports watches? That gets hard because I get an automatic movement and I get a lot of other upgrades and technology. That's a little bit more difficult. But, if I'm looking for something in the $2,500 to $3,000 range, if I want something cool, sporty, something for a young person, something I can enjoy that's like a stress-free watch, I think the Endurance Pro answers a lot of those questions for a lot of people. All right, rambling as usual, guys. Listen, I hope you all like this quick look at the Breitling Endurance Pro. This one's in yellow. All right, guys, I'll holler at you later. Take care. Bye.